Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to another video on the Chan. It's ya boy, Kit, coming at you live with another story time. In my life, I've had a variety of different jobs, ranging from working at a frozen yogurt place, to working at Cracker Barrel, to working for under the table. The employer did not pay taxes, and I was just handed cash. We've all been there, done that. One of my slightly newer of the older jobs that I had in life was working for 2 months at a local McDonald's. And that was a shit show. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm not speaking on the brand of McDonald's or corporate. I'm just talking about my personal experience working at this local McDonald's in my community for about 2 months before I moved to the city to my first job in the city that I had a story time about that I had to take down because my employer was sent an email from my previous employer about it to try to get me fired. So I'm not going to talk about that place again. Anyways, I worked at a McDonald's in my local area. And if my past employers from that McDonald's somehow finds this video and then tries to email it to my current employer, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So, I'm not going to name the town that this McDonald's was in. I'm not going to name any people involved. Okay? All these names are fictional. So let's dive into it. Number one, I will say this. Working in fast food is very difficult. And I have high respects for the people who work in fast food that have to deal with the bullshit from customers, the bullshit from other coworkers, and the bullshit from management. It's all bullshit. And it literally is. And I think the worst time to work in any sort of retail fast food, anything, was during 2020 and the peaks of COVID-19. Because I worked at this McDonald's from June of 2020 till July of 2020. I said it was 2 months. It was not even 2 months. It was a month and a half. I just realized that. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. But anyways, I worked at that McDonald's from June to July. Not 2 months, 1 month. It felt like an eternity there. Okay, there was issues with the management that I had. And I had issues with some coworkers. But I think the worst thing that I had to deal with at this McDonald's was the customers. And let me tell you a story. So it was probably my third or fourth shift at McDonald's. So I wasn't very used to the things. And we didn't have the dining room open, so everything was drive-through. So I think this was my third or fourth shift. And it was probably my third or fourth day in the second drive-through window. I wasn't doing the orders hello, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? I was handing people their food. And they would just yeet on out of there. And I didn't mind that. I kind of liked doing that when I was at McDonald's. I did not want to talk in that headset. Fuck that. Anyways, so my boss approached me and she was like, hey, we have this policy that we want everyone to know about because of COVID. And I'm like, cool, what is this policy? Because we were wearing masks and everything. And they're like, okay, obviously we're wearing our mask. We have our plexiglass up, everything. To limit any more interactions with people, they want us to put their cups in cups carriers if there's more than one cup. So if someone ordered 3 cups of drinks, we had to put them in a cup carrier, or 2. I had to go in a cup carrier no matter what. So like I said, this is my third or fourth day. I'm nervous. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to make anyone mad. And this car pulls up, hands them their bag. I say, hi, how are you doing? They're like, I'm doing great. And then I go to hand them their cup carrier. And they're like, what is this? And I'm like, it's your drinks. And we don't need no damn cup carrier. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sir, but my boss said our policy is I don't give a shit about what your policy is. And starts screaming at me and takes off the cup one by one. I think there was 4 cups. So he's taking all 4 cups off and then speeds off. And my manager had overheard that walked over to me because he was like screaming at me. Like so much more profanity than what I was saying. Like just screaming. His face was red. I was just like stunned, holding my hands like this. Drives off. My boss comes over and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." And then after that, she said, "Look, you handled it okay. What I would do next time," her words to me was, "Next time someone gives you shit like that again, just drop the drinks. And if they get mad, come find me." And I was like, okay. And I never had that instance again, thankfully. But I had a bunch of people who would get mad because, like, nuggets, how they do sauces, it's like 1 for 6 piece, 2 for 10 piece, and I think 3 or 4 for 20 piece. And so someone had ordered, I think, a 20 piece McNuggets, and they had ordered the sauce with it was like sweet and sour. So they got 4 sweet and sours. And I hand them the bag, and I'm like, "Here you go, have a nice day." And they're looking through the bag, and they're like, "Why is there not 5 sweet and sour sauces in there?" And I said, "It didn't say you wanted 5. It says 4. And they're like, "I demand 5 sauces." And I looked at this person, and I said, "Okay, I'll get you another sauce." And they're like, "You better, or I will talk to your manager." And I'm like, what the hell? So I gave them their sauce, and they drove off, and I'm like, I don't get paid enough for this bullshit. Like, literally, I think I was making like $9 an hour. I'm like, I don't need to hear this bullshit. I didn't. There was like this other time, oh my god, yeah, this other time, where it was like, I did closing shifts too. And there was this one time, it was about like 10:30, and we closed at 11, and this car pulled up. And you know, when it's like late, you're getting everything closed down, so like you're not cooking a lot of things because you want to get everything closed down as quick as possible so you can clean everything up and go home for the night and then do the same thing all over again the next day. But these teenagers come through the drive-thru, and they're like, "I want 10 McChickens and 10 McDoubles." And we didn't have that. So we had to turn everything back on again, that like things that whatever, because like we were getting close and no one had been there for like almost an hour, and we're really hoping like no one was going to show up in 30 minutes, but like, so we had to do it really quickly. And then I think while they pulled up to the other window, they were then ordering more food. So like they were ordering nuggets, and like we couldn't tell them no because our manager was like, "Yes, take their money." And I'm like, I just want to go home. Some issues I had with like staff members and management was there was a manager who employed 2 of her daughters, and she played favorites a lot because one of her daughters was pregnant at the time, and if she didn't want to come in, her mom was like, "That's fine, you don't have to call off, I got you." And like her other daughter, who was a younger daughter, complained all the time and cussed out customers, and she was just all like, "Yeah, stop doing that," and then like writes it off as like, "Don't do it again," or whatever. So that was annoying. There was cliques in McDonald's, which I feel like you get cliques no matter where you work at. And I wanted to be in a clique because I felt like that would have kept me safe. So I was just kind of like that person at that McDonald's that was friends with everyone. And I heard what other people said about other people. So like, hypothetical, these aren't real names. We'll like say Jacob was a manager, and so was Michael. Michael hates Jacob. And Jacob and I would talk. And then Jacob would tell me things about Michael that he doesn't like. And then vice versa. It literally got to a point that like managers that were like friendly towards me, like nice, like guys and girls, no matter what, they would ask me what I knew about the other one because they wanted to get the other one fired. It was so insane. It was crazy. It didn't help that a lot of like the management were either high school students or just recently graduates at that time. Nothing wrong with it, but it felt like the atmosphere was high school. It really did. Because like then there was like some of the adults who were also behaving like it was high school, and it was weird. It was so strange. And I'm like, I've been out of high school for a while. What are we doing? Yeah, I don't want to get too in depth about stories about certain people because I'm just concerned that somehow that McDonald's franchise and their management is gonna find this video, track down my current employer, and try to get me fired. So, I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, I don't have any hate towards the McDonald's, the people there. It was just some sort of frustration things that I dealt with. I have no ill will towards the company, and like even if I did, it's not gonna hurt McDonald's. They're like a multi-million-dollar company. Like if I were to say I'm never gonna eat at McDonald's again, they're gonna be like, cool, bye. Like it's not gonna hurt them. But yeah, if I have any more stories about my McDonald's era, I can talk about that. I sell my McDonald's hat and shirts in my closet, so that's fun. Or I can talk about the time I worked at Cracker Barrel. That was a fun experience. I was almost there for a whole year and then I quit. And that's a different story for itself. But yeah, we can talk about that stuff later. I really hope you enjoyed my story time. I didn't really feel cohesive. I felt like I was all over the place. So, yeah. Take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. You're not plows instead of pals. Anyways, take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, we are squids, and squids are you. I don't know what that is. I'm just rambling. Anyways, bye.